All right, welcome once again to the premiere episode of the Single Dad Cooking Show. This, my friends, is bacon. All right, Slugger. See you next month. The Single Dad Cooking Show is brought to you by... This afternoon and evening we'll be working on egg hog. So, step one for egg hog is to preheat your oven. You want to put it at 375. This particular oven doesn't have any number that says 375, so we're just going to put it somewhere between 200 and 400. Should be good. Open that, make sure it's coming on, and I can't tell. Step two is get some water. I like to go with tons of water as our quantity here. You don't really need to measure this because you're going to end up dumping most of it out anyway. I'm not really sure why you use it if you're just going to dump it out later, but put that on the burner. First, before you turn the burner on, remove all your combustibles. Make sure no fires happen. These are not combustible, that's why you cook with them. Put salt in there. Salt of the earth. This is sodium-free salt. It's all chloride. I think it raises the boiling temperature or the boiling point or lowers it. Or let's go ahead and deal with this butter, shall we? What you want to do when you're using butter is look on the package. If you don't see the word butter, it's probably some other product, like roach poison. You want anywhere from 1 to 5 tablespoons. Don't worry about measuring it because most of it's going to disappear. So this is one of Slugger's favorites, the egg hog. Make it for him, whenever he has the chance to come over, whenever he's allowed to come over, according to the city, the state governments. Some guy in a big black robe told me that I can only see him every other weekend and Thanksgiving, the day before Thanksgiving, actually. But, it's the same thing, really. I mean, in Canada, they celebrate Thanksgiving in February, so you just want to bring that to a boil. He can eat it anywhere upwards of 2 to 3 times a day, depending on how much baseball he's playing that day, which lately has been less than usual. But we'll get him back to where he used to be, and everything will be fine. So we're missing one of our main ingredients, which is the ramen. You'll find your packet of ramen maybe underneath the island in your kitchen. Important to remember that you never want to touch raw food with your bare hands. So, just get a matrix of tools here. Scoop the edge, stab the edge, lift the edge. You never know what might transfer off of the raw food and onto the other raw food that you're touching. And 2 raws don't make a right. Now that you've got it in the boiling water, it's time to press the ramen down to the bottom of the pan. It gets more difficult to move, but life is all about processes and evolution, and things change all the time. So you need to be ready for things to change pretty rapidly sometimes. So this is just about ready to roll here. Let's go ahead and turn on our other burner to 6 because 6 is somewhere between 1 and 8 on the dial. Oops. So we're going to get that going. We're going to take this up to somewhere above 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Take this to the sink or whatever hole we have in our kitchen, depending on where you live. You want to hook that onto the pot and pour. You want to try to eliminate most of the water, but not all of the water, because the seasoning packet is going to help eliminate some water by soaking it up through transduction. You hear that? That is just as good as saying I love you to a child, that sound. Cooking in your own kitchen is a gift that you can give your child, and they'll just keep using it throughout the entire meal. Ready for the egg? Still an egg. So, crack the egg. Everyone knows how to do that. It's time. Hear that sizzle? I hope you can hear that because All the hungry little boys and girls in America can. Then a little bit of your chicken packet. Shake it all to the bottom, otherwise you'll spill some. I just spilled a little bit, but you know, if you have to open it from both sides because it doesn't sometimes open in the middle. See, and I don't use the whole packet there. That is crucial in the health of your child. Stir that around so that the chicken flavor is dispersed properly. Work that egg. Always fold to the center. Fold to the center. If you find your mind is blank while you're cooking, think fold to the center. Fold to the center. Okay. Fold to the center. Fold to the center. Over and over, my mom used to say, fold to the center. Fold to the center. When she passed away, we did that with her arms, and I smiled inside. And those bubbles indicate that carbon monoxide is being released into the air and out of the food. So don't stand directly over it. You don't want that carbon monoxide in the food, but you also don't want it in your lungs, which is why you cook it out. And you'll notice it goes up high enough and then it disappears. If I was to get my head right down on there, I would pass out like that. And then who's going to cook for my child or children? Good. I can't see if you're doing it or not, but good. Good. It's at this point that we want to season to taste with a little bit of pepper and some salt. And you'll know the taste that your child is used to and how much they prefer. Slugger prefers a lot of salt. This is sodium-free salt. I don't know if that's available in your area, but it does make things delicious. Now, some local honey will help with his allergies. So just a dab of that. You don't want to overdo it with the honey. One quick spoon of weight-gaining formula. You can get that at any drugstore or from your dealer. Now, you want to fold that to the center. Fold to the center. That's going to eat up some of the moisture. And it also has a sort of a cardboard box-like odor to it. Try to put that out of your mind and just think about the future, which is really bulky and home run prone. Now, kids love cheese, right? Kids like to have cheese. They like to have, oh, I want pizza. I want to order pizza place or whatever local pizza delivery you have. This will make them think that they're getting cheese, when in fact they're getting not very much cheese. So we want to take that off the heat, make sure it doesn't stick too bad, and we're just going to pour that. We want to try to fold it, not fold it, we want to slide it onto the plate so that the oils stay underneath and the cheese stays on top. Because what's the point of putting cheese in a dish if the person doesn't even know they're eating it? You got to see it to eat it, as they say. So I like to use the fork that I've been using to cook, because any of the excess flavors that have tried to escape and gotten caught on the fork will now get caught in your mouth. So, more work to be done. We're not done yet. We got to garnish this with some beef jerky. And remember those carrots from earlier? A carrot a day will do ya. That's what my grandfather always said. Normally, if I'm making this dish for myself, I'll just grab some chips and eat the chips right out of the bag, like so. When there's someone that you're preparing it for, presentation is key. So look at that. It's almost a little smiley face there. Egg hog. That is good. It's hot. It's really hot. It's really hot. They don't tell you about that on Rachel Ray. How fucking hot it is when it comes right out of the pot. Woo! There you have it, ladies and folks. Egg hog. Well, that's all the time we have here on the Single Dad Cooking Show. I hope you've enjoyed watching me make this meal as much as I've enjoyed sending my son away twice a month to be with his mother.